Good morning. Today's lesson is on using the right tool for the right job. Now, today's lesson is particularly poignant because it's based on an incident about 10 or 12 days ago when I chose the wrong tool for a particular job and as a result wound up having to go to urgent care and getting some sutures to repair the damage. Yes, I got into a knife fight with myself. Rather than walking to the tool shed and getting a pair of diagonal cutters or scissors, I happened to have a carton knife on me. I used a carton knife to try and cut a cable tie and wound up cutting a very large and deep slash in my thumb. So not being in a place where I could easily crazy glue it or otherwise secure it myself, I ran over to urgent care, met a lovely doctor there. He did a nice job stitching it up, recommended I take the stitches out myself. And again, this is not my first rodeo, not the first time I've had to take stitches out. So in any case, in doing that, there are about 3 things you need to know about removing your own sutures. First is you need the right tools. Number 1, you need something sharp to cut the suture with. Suture material is fairly strong. When I was younger, they used to use silk and woven materials that would often untie themselves by the time they needed to come out. In this particular case, nowadays they use mostly monofilament plastics of some sort, which generally don't come untied so easily, and you're not going to be able to untie them. So you need to slit one end of the suture and pull the suture through the hole by the knot, not the other way, pulling the knot through the hole. Sounds trivial. Some people occasionally try to do it the other way. So to do that, you need something pointy and sharp to cut the suture. The second thing is you need something to grip the suture and pull it out. And third, you need something to cleanse the wound with. So in particular, you can select different things to do that. Some people like hydrogen peroxide. Some people like alcohol. It's kind of a personal preference. Just nothing oily. And you want something that when you've basically done your wound care and you now need to pull the stitch through, there might be some bacteria or things on the top of the suture that you'd be dragging through the hole under the skin. So it's just a nice thing to give it a quick rinse off with whatever your favorite solution is. I'm not particularly fond of hydrogen peroxide, so I tend to go with alcohol of some sort. So just taking care of that real quickly. Okay, moving right along. Selecting something to cut the suture, you need something sharp and pointy. I'm particularly using an M1 carbine bayonet. Some people might like a K-bar. I think it's a little big to work with in close quarters. And I'm using a pair of vice grips to grab the end of the suture with. Now you say, why use a pair of vice grips as opposed to ordinary pliers, needle nose pliers, or even electrician's pliers? Well, the answer is it's the location of the cut. Since I can't hold onto it with one hand and slice the suture with the other hand, I need something with some weight that will pull on it to give some tension to pull enough of the loop out that I can slide the knife under and cut the suture away from the skin instead of towards the skin, which might put me back in the urgent care. So obviously the thing to do before you use your instruments is to sterilize them. If you don't have an autoclave, you can always boil them, or the traditional method might be flame heating them. It depends whether you're a traditionalist. And just try not to get too much soot on the instruments while you're doing this. Interesting part about the story is I was in New Orleans and had to go to urgent care. Lovely doctor, probably being run out of medicine for not painting between the lines and doing some alternate care treatment, but did a nice job on the sutures. So in any case, the trick here now is to lift the knot away from the skin enough so that you have room underneath to slide the tip of the knife blade in and cut the suture without cutting the skin. So what I'm going to do is grab the suture by the knot and let the weight of the hemostat here pull on it, and then see if I can see well enough to get behind the knot and cut just one side. And maybe I should have chosen a slightly larger hemostat here. Maybe easier if my vision was a little better than it is these days. And That's one down. pull and it's out. So when I went into the urgent care facility and started talking to the doctor, he looked at the cut, he said, you know, I can show you how next time you don't have to come here, you can take care of that yourself. And I say, crazy glue, right? He goes, yeah. I said, well, you know, ordinarily I would, but where this is located, it's sitting on top of a joint where I can't get to it easily to go, two down, go. I can't get to it easily to hold the skin together with one hand while I'm cutting with the other hand. And the fact that I'll continue to be working, I need the use of the hand. So I said, I want to have you do a nice professional job on it to hold it together so I get a nice, good result. And he said, you know, my friends asked me, as I was heading over there, he goes, how many stitches do you think you're going to get? I said, it's 1.5 inches. I'll probably get 10 to 15 sutures in it. If it's a plastic surgeon, for maybe 4 if it's a general surgeon. And the guy looked at it, and as it was being cleaned, he said, yeah, I'll probably do 4 or 5. And as he's stitching up, he says, you know, I did 3, and that's doing a good job. You should get a nice, good result from it. So remember, always use the proper tool for the job, and be safe.